Alright, we're looking at a 2014 Dodge Avenger. It's got a severe whining problem. Seems like every time it's around, it whines real bad. And so we're going to address that issue now. The whining is actually not coming from the wheel here or the front. It's actually coming, if you look over here, behind this door right there sits my wife. And every time she comes home, she has to tell me that her car barely started. Oh, the battery's going out. The battery's going out. So yesterday, I guess it took her like 3 tries to get it started, and finally the whining got so bad that I told her to go ahead and take my car, and I'll put a battery in this thing today. So we need to get that whining stopped and get a battery in this thing. So anyway, you may wonder why I got it jacked up to get a battery. That's because Dodge puts their batteries right here underneath, behind the driver's side headlight, but they don't put it on the upper part where you can get to it. You actually got to pull the wheel off and the inner fender well right there to even see the battery. So anyway, that's what we're going to do real quick. If you got a Dodge, pretty much any front wheel drive Dodge right now, Sebring, the Avengers, all that, Journey, their batteries are all underneath, behind the front bumper, underneath the frame where you can't get to it from the top. So first thing we'll do is pull this wheel off, and then I'll kind of show you where the battery's at. I love aluminum wheels. Alright, so the battery's over this way. I'll kind of get you in there. We'll take a look at it. Alright, so it's pretty straightforward to get these. You got to peel back this inner liner right here. You have a few 7mm bolts that go into the bumper. I usually remove those first. I normally don't take this whole liner out when I change these. Once you get the most of them, actually some of them do come out pretty easy. Just depends. Once you get most of it. So anyway, you got these little clips. I like to use these. This just gets in there, and then you just pull this down, and it kind of pops it out. So just get in there. Side cutters will work. Even screwdrivers, if you're in a pinch, you don't have any kind of tools, you can usually finagle them enough to get it to work. And all you're doing is just popping out that middle piece on these connectors, or these clips, and that releases them. Just got to go around and look for them all. There's a couple up here on top. Remember the good old days when the battery was under the hood. You could just pop the hood and take it out right there. Most you had to deal with was a battery hold down. Now you gotta look at the trunk or different places to find these batteries nowadays. This one's being a real pain. I think I only have one left. There's a couple facing the fender well out towards you, and should be it. Alright, so I lied, I did take it all the way out. That's okay. So here's the battery. Well, here's the problem right here. It's an AC Delco battery, and this is a Mopar. No, I mean, we bought this car when it was about a year old, and we actually bought it from a Chevy dealer, and it had been sitting, and they instead of just charging the battery, they just put a new one in there. So this battery is probably 5 years old, something like that. So we got this little brace right here to take out. Looks like a 13 mil maybe, and then yeah, I think these are 10 mil here that hold that, and then the actual battery terminals are 10 mil. So let me get that real quick. Get the bolts or the tools, and then we'll pull this battery out and test. Alright, so this is 13 mil on this here. Long one too. A little rusty, which is understandable. It's down here by the wheel. All the road grinding gets kicked up on it. Alright, so I just loosened it. I'm not going to take that all the way off. And then I believe the hold down is actually 10 millimeter. No, it's not. It's 13 too. Huh. That's one I had. So anyway, it's right here, the hold down. So just take that loose. It's 13 mil. And all these are. Oh, my battery's almost dead too, so that doesn't help. So take that 13 out, and then this should just pop out of the way. I think it's kind of hooked in there. Let me get my head in there real quick and see what's going on. I'm pretty sure it's just kind of hooked in there. You got to angle it. And then these are 10 mil, both of your. Alright, so here's that hold down, and here's the hook that goes towards the passenger side. And you know, I just kind of turned it and manipulated it out of there. It makes it easier to get to that back terminal once you get this out. And I already went ahead and took these loose, because if I would have took them loose on camera, all you would see is the back of my head. It's a pretty tight spot there. So this battery should come out now. And I believe this battery should be 2015, somewhere in there. I think we bought this car when it was about a year old. Let's see the date on it. Alright, so we're going to test it real quick, and then we'll go to my favorite battery store. I'll kind of show you that, and then we'll come back and put this thing back together. Alright, so I'm using the All Tool here. I don't always take this thing as the gospel. It's a good little tool. It's not super expensive. But I have gotten a little bit wonky results from it here and there. So when you turn it on, you hook it to the battery, turn it on, and it's asking for cold cranking amps. This battery is 590. So you just tell the All Tool 590, hit enter. And see, this is why this says result caution. So the battery's in caution. It's not the greatest, but it says battery life left 49%. Now this isn't under a load either, but there's no way this battery's got 49% life left. That means this battery's at least 5 years old, and you know, it's not going to last 10 years. And the other thing too is it's not very cold right now. And the problem with this battery is when it's real cold out is when it really it struggles to start the car. So you know, take this for what it is. I think it's a decent tool, kind of give you an idea, but it's not always. Now I do have a battery load tester here that we could try it and do it, but I got to get over to the store, get this battery, and get it replaced. So I'm going to go ahead and load this up, and then we'll go to my battery place and go get a battery for this thing. It's 5 years old. It's ready to go. Alright, I'm here at my favorite battery place. It's Ellis Batteries. I'm in St. Louis, so this is Arnold, Missouri. It's only about probably 5 miles from the shop. And I get most of my batteries here for the last 5 years or so. I've never had a problem. I think I had one battery that went out kind of early, and they warrantied out, no problem. And normally I save about $100 per battery when I come here. So I'm going to go get the battery, and then we'll look it up on O'Reilly's or AutoZone and see how much difference it is. The other place to go if you don't have an Ellis battery in your area is if you have a Rural King in your area. They sell batteries real reasonable. I've never actually gotten a battery from them, but I've heard that, I mean, I've seen the prices when I'm there, and I heard that they do pretty well too. So anyway, this place, all they do is batteries, and like I said, I've been getting batteries here for about 5 years and I've never had a problem. They're usually about half the price, sometimes even up to $100 less than the auto parts stores. So, and they warranty them out, no issues. So anyway, I'm gonna go in and get it, see what we got price wise, and then we'll compare, and then we'll head back to the shop. And alright, so I just picked the battery up, and you can see here the battery before tax is, oh, why this, I hate this new camera, it's $84.95, and I took the core with me, so that's not an issue. And then with tax and everything, it's $90. But that anyway, so $84.95. So I went on O'Reilly's website, just their regular website. I didn't go on my commercial account, and the closest battery they have with the cold cranking amps is 140, and their top battery for that car is 160. Now the top battery has more cold cranking amps than the battery I just got. It's more in line with this one. They do have a few cheaper options that go down. This one's 142. Now this one has 540 cold cranking amps, and that's the cheapest one they have for this car, and that's quite a bit less than what the Ellis battery has, or these other two batteries. So anyway, you can see there it's about $50, $60 difference on this car, and these guys do offer a 5-year warranty. So. And they do honor them real well. So anyway, that's that. So it's about $60 difference just driving out and a few miles and picking this up. And anyway, we'll get back to the shop now, put this thing back in, and hopefully we'll stop all that whining that the car's doing. All right, so we're back at the shop here. Got the battery. So I just kind of wanted to show you the different options there are. I don't know, like I said, St. Louis, Ellis Battery, and Rural King are the two places that people go for more affordable batteries. I go to Ellis because that's all they do is batteries, and they have their house brand here. And I mean, I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I just I don't have any problem passing on information for products or whatever that I use and that I've had good luck with. And this is a 5-year battery. They do have cheaper options. Like I said, I'm not trying to make this a commercial for Ellis Battery. I'm just trying to point out that do a little research in your area, because it's possible that there's cheaper alternatives in the auto parts stores. The auto parts stores are making a killing on these batteries. You saw the difference there, $60 difference with this battery in particular. And I've seen even up to $100 difference in some of these batteries. So there is other alternatives out there besides just your auto parts stores when it comes to batteries. Like I said, I can't speak for the whole country, but at least in St. Louis, you can go to Rural King or Ellis, and I prefer Ellis just because that's all they do is batteries. And they make, this is their house brand, and I've never had a problem with them. And the one time I did have a problem, they warranted out, no problem, no issue at all there. So just want to point that out. You know, batteries are getting pretty expensive now, and there is alternatives out there. And you know, you definitely want to take these off before you put it in. I got kind of a funny story about that. Was working at a shop about 20 years ago. I was pretty young. I was really young actually, and guy comes into the bay, or a tow truck comes in, drops the car off my bay. I pop the hood. Tow truck driver says it won't start. I pop the hood. The guy's got the cables over these plastic covers, so of course the car won't start. And I had no idea. The customer came in on the tow truck, and he was standing behind my bay, kind of off to the side. I didn't see him. And I started laughing when I saw it, and I said, "Hey, Ralph," my coworker was in the next bay. I said, "Hey, Ralph, look at what this dipstick did." Kind of making a joke out of it, and you know, I called the guy a dipstick. Anyway, Ralph says, "Hey, dummy, shut up." He's standing over there, and I look over, and he just gives me this death stare, and wasn't one of my finest moments. But I mean, if you're gonna leave these on your battery and then put your cables over it, you know, you get kind of what you deserve, in my opinion, a little bit. But yeah, it didn't go over too well with the boss that day either. So take these off. They just pull off, and go ahead and make sure this is the negative side. Make sure that's going in towards the front of the car. That's where the negative cable's at on these. Hook them up and just kind of do the reverse of what we did, taking it off. There's really nothing else to show you on it. On that hook, just kind of turn it and angle it, and it'll go back in where it's supposed to. And go ahead and put the retaining bolt on, and then put that plastic fender, and you're good to go. You know, unfortunately, this is where we're at. You know, there's a lot of cars, batteries in the trunk or hidden, so this is what we're dealing with now. Not a big deal, but I just made this video. If you're not familiar with the Chrysler, where the battery's at, how to get to it, I figured this will give you kind of a rundown on it. And this will stop all that whining coming from behind the steering wheel, thankfully. So hopefully we won't have no issues for a while on it. And I guess that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and button this back up. I got a bunch of other stuff to do today I got to get to. So appreciate you watching. If you have any questions about anything, just leave a comment. I try to answer all the questions. Sometimes I don't always see them or whatever, but I do my best. And anyway, have a good day, and God bless.